So in Lakota, for example,
Yeah.
the penalty for getting the story wrong would be death, because it's the survival of the tribe to
Yes.
get the water holes right, where the
Yes.
animals graze, where you planted your corn, etc. So it seems like even in the pre-Aristotle times, prehistory times, this was true, and it was true up through even the Renaissance and stuff. You know, that you needed to get an enlightenment and all of those phases of Western history to understand the place for telling the story. No, the time of year for telling it.
Yeah.
Who can tell it? Who cannot tell it? Who has to be schooled to tell us? You know, it seems like it was more refined.
Right.
I don't know if that's the right word, but can you help me out here?
Yeah, because the storyteller has the responsibility of telling the story right, and like you were saying, at the right time and everything. Because if you start changing, the storyteller decides, oh, I think I'm going to introduce something else to the story, or I'm going to change this, or maybe I'll say it at a different time than it's supposed to be. And then the next generation does the same, and the next generation does the same thing of making those modifications, making those changes. Then after 3 or 4 generations, it's no longer
Right.
the same story. So that's why there is that responsibility. And having the wisdom of telling the story right, so that it can continue from generation to generation.
And the Book of Tea, I find the similarity there. He's not specifically speaking of storytelling, but sometimes he does mention storytelling. Gives a lot of history. So when they've learned the ceremony a little differently under each generation and each kind of emperor that succeeded, and a little bit different in Japan. So the place of the ceremonies are different, but in those places they stay intact. They don't deviate. The leaf ceremony is different than the steeping ceremony, is different than other kinds of teas that are done. Anyway, so that's our presentation today. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much.